is great to have you all on today's episode of Business Digest. My name is Diana Eriza, and here's what we have on this episode. Thank you for joining us once again. Now let us briefly put all our focus on MasterCard Foundation's initiative, Hanga Ahazaza, a $50 million initiative that is focused on creating employment opportunities for young people while expanding the tourism and hospitality sector here in Rwanda. Have a look. Hanga Ahazaza initiative focuses on supporting the tourism and hospitality sector as it is considered key in the development of Rwanda and for creation of jobs for many young people. 17,000 in new entry-level employees, 10,000 existing employees, and 3,000 new and existing industry managers will be equipped with the skills needed to secure employment in hotels, restaurants, and other tourism and hospitality enterprises. In the next interview, we'll, among other things, show the opportunities in the tourism and hospitality industry in Rwanda, necessary skills for the youth to be able to make the most of the opportunities, what Hanga Ahazaza is doing in partnership with the government, impact so far, emerging trends in local tourism industry, progress, among other aspects. You're still watching Business Digest. Now, this initiative was launched in 2018 and has been working to equip 30,000 young men and women with skills that will help them to get employment when it comes to sectors such as tourism and hospitality. And with me here is Ms. Rika Rigamba, the acting country representative of MasterCard Foundation and also the senior program manager for Hanga Ahazaza initiative. Thank you so much for taking the time to have this interview with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, talk to us. What should the youth of Rwanda expect? What opportunities should they expect from this initiative?
One of the things that they should expect from this initiative, which you've mentioned, is an opportunity for them to acquire skills that will make them more employable. But it also is an opportunity for young entrepreneurs who have innovative ideas or who have been looking at venturing into the sector to get some opportunity in terms of training as entrepreneurs, in terms of starting from an idea to having a small enterprise. And we also know that there are young people who already are CEOs of small companies. So we'll also be able to provide them with business development services and access to finance.
What criteria do you look into when it comes to giving the youth these employment, the skills to get these employment opportunities?
One of the things that we do, you mentioned the initiative, we actually work through implementing partners, and these are organizations that do understand the local context, organizations that are close to these young people, and that's part of what we're asking them to do. And they have different criteria, but I think what's very important for us is that we're looking at youth from a segment between 18 and 35 years old. What is also critical in this program, we're looking at young people who are interested in coming onto the sector, but also young people who already are in the sector. And that's a very important element because we know, we've heard from the young people who work that they feel they still need more training to be able to actually improve and become supervisors, managers. So this initiative looks at it from a holistic element. And that's the only criteria. It's the willingness, the interest, whether they are looking at getting into the tourism and hospitality sector or are already employed and are looking at improving their skills and, you know, also their career path and improving and increasing in their career path.
Now, the initiative was launched last year, so it's been a year so far, if not 2 years.
A year and a half.
And how have the youth been responding to the skills that they are getting from MasterCard Foundation?
The youth has been quite happy for those that we have managed to reach. We're definitely looking at reaching more. And one of the areas that we really want is youth outside of Kigali as well. For this first year and a half, you know, every time at the beginning of a program, you do have to understand and also look at where the opportunities are. So most of our partners really started in Kigali. And what we've been hearing, and we have different cases, we have an example of a gentleman called Daniel who has been working as a guide, and they really as a cooperative of guides. And they have appreciated this initiative. It's really helping them in business development service. But we also have young people who are going through training still under, for example, the Vatel program. And these young people are quite excited. And some of them are saying, we thought it was an easy sector where I didn't really have to even get, any technical skills. I know how to cook at home, and I've always wanted to become a chef. And what we've heard from them is that it's actually a technical requirement. You actually need to get the skills and be professional. And so they're really appreciating it. And we're also hearing it from employers because we also offer internships. Our partners work with the private sector to offer placements and internship opportunities for these young people. And from there, we've also heard a lot of good feedback. But we do realize that we have to reach more. By June this year, we had about 3,333 that had been reached, and this is, as you mentioned, 30,000 young people that we're looking, so it's only a bit more than 10-11%, so there's much more, and we really are encouraging young people to take advantage of this program.
Is Mastercard Foundation doing anything to partner with the government of Rwanda to provide these skills and capacities to the young people?
Aligning with the government is definitely something that we take very seriously. We were in consultation with the government, and other stakeholders looked at this sector and really advised that this would be a sector that would make an impact if the young people get the right skills. So absolutely, working closely with government. We have two initiatives, but through our initiative we have a governance structure where we have advisory committee, which is chaired by the Minister of Education. And for Hangahazaza specifically, we also have a technical working group where we're working with a co-chair from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, but we also have representative from RDB, a key partner in everything that we're doing, given their mandate for tourism and hospitality, but also for skills with the CSO's office. So aligning with government is something that we take seriously and that we always do to ensure that we're aligning, and if there's a way or a time to pivot it, depending on the needs, then we're able to do that.
This is something that I should have asked you before all the other questions I asked you. Hangahazaza. For our viewers out there who are not Kinyarwanda speakers, who would like to know the translation, the meaning of the words Hangahazaza, can you briefly tell them what that is in English?
So Hangahazaza means create the future. It's a Kinyarwanda word, as you mentioned, and this was really inspired by young people. One of the things that is very important in our work is putting young people at the center of everything that we're doing. And the idea then of having a tagline that would really be very inclusive to the young people, but also to the different stakeholders. And one of the things that is very critical, and just to provide some context to our viewers, is that Hangahazaza is part of a wider, our strategy as the Mastercard Foundation, which is looking at putting 30 million young people, especially women, into work opportunities. And these are not just any work opportunities, but we're looking at them being dignified and fulfilling work. And that's very important for us. And it's a journey that we've embarked, and Rwanda is the first country in Africa where we now have offices, but we're also going to be looking at other African countries. But to your point, Hangahazaza is all together, all the stakeholders working together, and the foundation being the catalyst. We want to create a bright future for the young people.
You're still watching Business Digest. Thank you for joining us. We still have more to come. To stay with us.
I think it's a high time that you give insights about the partnership between RDB and the Mastercard Hangahazaza. I think so far we've worked together for more than 1 year, and for me it has been fruitful. It is actually yielding fruits, because part of what we do is also capacity building to make sure there's improved service delivery within the tourism sector. So Hangahazaza has brought quite a lot of partners within the sector who are giving very important skills to the industry, both youth and women. And I think we've seen a tremendous improvement among the people taking the skills. I think there's quite a number of opportunities, because as we said, the industry is still lacking in terms of good services, and therefore if you can come in and provide better services, you're likely to succeed in the industry. So one, we still have gaps in tour guiding services. You know, skills, youth can still invest or come in into operations. You know, Rwanda tourism strategy is to make sure we diversify the tourism products, you know, going beyond gorillas and national parks. We still have community tourism around that people can venture in. We still have, you know, tourism related to other nature like beaches and stuff. All there people can invest in. People can still invest in you know, a number of accommodation activities, small-scale activities, provided that you understand how to give the service. So we still need, you know, there's still a room for youth to come in, maybe even other investors. If I give an example, like in accommodation sector, which also brings in food and beverage services, like in December we are hosting a conference that is bringing about 10,000 people in Rwanda, the ICASA Africa. So I think we don't even have 10,000 rooms yet here in Kigali. So there's still a room to run small-scale, you know, accommodation entities that can cater events and sometimes do other related activities of hosting people. That perception that people have that, you know, out there in hospitality is even perceived in a negative way, that you really don't make life within the hospitality industry. But I mean, look at us, we're also part of the hospitality industry. We've done the schooling in hospitality, so we are at this level, we are serving, we are earning. So I think it's a perception that can always change. One, the salaries, yes, there's also probably that particular, you know, setback of the owners trying to you know, take advantage of the industry. But we have come in as a regulator to make sure that the industry is scrutinized, you know, improves the standards. People take it seriously. It's seen as a profession. So I think what we are doing, part of the regulation, is also to make sure we have a competent staff. So when you have a competent staff, you also need to give a better salary. And surely, hotels out there, I think, have started really paying quite well. But again, you need skills. I think youth also need to mind that you need to be able to be competent to give good services. We have people earning very good salaries.
The governments of Japan and Rwanda signed a concessional loan agreement worth $90 million that is approximately to 82 billion Rwandan francs, to assist Rwanda's effort to tackle malnutrition in Rwanda. The support will be channeled through Japan's sector policy loan for nutrition improvement through agricultural transformation. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uzil Ndagijimana, His Excellency Mr. Takayuki Miyashita, Ambassador of Japan to Rwanda, signed the exchange of notes, while Mr. Shin Maruo, Chief Representative of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, signed the loan with Minister Ndagijimana. Since 2012, Rwanda has seen decline of stunting among children of ages between 6 months and 5 years. However, the decline is still short of Rwanda's target to reduce stunting below 19% by Rwanda fiscal year 2023 to 2024. Despite sustainable growth in agricultural production over the past 10 years, food security and nutrition remain concerns, especially when looking at the vulnerability to shocks at the household level.
This program is in line with the Rwandan government, the development policy, such as NSD1 and the PSDA4, the promotion of nutrition sensitive agriculture. Not only that, this program is very in line with the IFUNA, the initiative for food and nutrition, the strengthen the initiative, which was launched last ticket 6 in Nairobi 2016. And needless to say, the importance of nutrition is well acknowledged, and 1,000 days after the pregnancy of the women to the 2 years old is very important. And knowledge-based economy is a Rwanda government policy, and in that sense, also, this program is very important.
food consumption score is 76% by 2018, but a large share of the population remains dependent on rain-fed agriculture and home consumption. Primarily, agriculture plays the role of availing food through ensuring that production meets the diverse dietary needs of the population. Despite the growth in production over the past 10 years, staple food production remains below the target demand for domestic consumption and is substituted by importation.
Ultimately, this program will boost the government's effort to modernize our agriculture, an area where Japan has been actively contributing. This operation will have a direct positive impact on improving nutrition outcomes in areas where malnutrition has been high. This program will be implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, MINAGRI, the National Early Childhood Development Program, RAP, as well as the Rwanda Biomedical Center. The program will begin in October this year and will run for 3 years.
This TICAD 7, one of the most important pillars is business promotion in Africa. There are 2 special sessions, including private sectors. Private sector delegation will be invited to express their wishes to the head of states who are presenting at the meeting. And second pillar is, this is a very traditional but very, very important, to make resilient society in Africa. In breakdown, the health sector, you know, the universal health coverage. This is a very hot topic in the recent years. So universal health coverage will be one of the big issues.
Now that's all we had for you on today's episode, but don't forget that this show airs at 9 p.m. every Tuesday, 2 p.m. on Wednesdays, and 5 p.m. on Saturdays. My name is Diana Iriza, and I'll see you all next time.